Hi guys, welcome to our channel. This is Tim and Lay. If just disclaimer, if you do hear a little bit crying in the background, that's my newborn. She's just right there. But yeah, this video is going to be about the difficulties of breastfeeding and also the rewards, and just to inform mums that you're not alone. We all go through it, and me, this is my second child, and my first child I didn't breastfeed her. I tried, and I think with that one I had way more difficulties than I did with my second child. And I think because I also didn't have a long pause between my two kids, I've got two under two, which is fantastic. But yeah, with my first one I found so difficult with latching on, and when she did semi-latch on, she just didn't feel like I felt like she wasn't getting enough, and she was just very upset, very agitated. And I guess the more agitated she got, the more I just wasn't I felt like I wasn't making enough, and the stress doesn't help. Whereas with my second one, I'm breastfeeding her, and we're supplementing with formula here and there, because the same, she also feels like sometimes I feel like she's just not getting enough. And even though I'm like, pumping as well, I just don't feel like I make enough. And sometimes it's just, you feel like it's in your head, because they tell you how much you're meant to give a child at that age, and you have all that, measurements and whatever, but every kid is different. Some kids want more, and my kids, they like to spit up a lot, and it's not normal spit up. They really go for it, and it's just like sometimes I'm like, I feel like I'm overfeeding her, and she's just so hungry all the time. So it can get really overwhelming, because even though the more children you have, and they say the more experience you have, two children are never the same. So once again, you're always learning things, and you're always like trying to implement what you learned from the first child to the next child, but sometimes they don't fit. It's like having a circle and trying to put it into a triangle. It doesn't work. It just doesn't fit. So sorry. But yeah, so you just kind of I think it's just, you just keep going, and it doesn't matter as long as they're full and you're happy with their weight and everything is fine. Then I think you just have to give yourself a break. Just give yourself a pat on the back. Being a mum, like having a newborn, and just taking them home, and you've never done this before, especially if it's your first child. I just felt like sometimes you just need someone to say to you, well done, well done. You just went for a birth. And then, some places you don't even get 48 hours at the hospital. After 24 hours, they send you home with this newborn, and they encourage you to breastfeed and, bond, and you want to do that. You see that and you think, oh, that's beautiful, I want to do that. And you're hearing everyone else's experience, and then you realize when you go home that is not your experience, and and it's difficult, and you feel so overwhelmed, and you're like, I can't do this. And it's not easy. Some people have couples at home and some people don't. And some people might have a village at home and still feel like they can't do this. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, you have to do what's right for you. If you're finding it difficult, or if you don't want to breastfeed, that's all perfectly fine. If you tried and you feel like, look, I've tried for 3 weeks, I've tried for 4 weeks, I've tried for 2 months and it's not working for me, and you want to, supplement with formula, or you want to just switch over to formula, fine. I just don't see, why some people, are like pushing people into it. Because I had that. I had what I call as bullying. Breastfeeding bullying is what I call it. And it was just because my culture, they all breastfeed. Back at home, they breastfeed. There wasn't really formula. So it seemed crazy when I wanted to, introduce formula to my first child, because she just wasn't latching on. And people just said their piece. I know it was coming from a place of love, but sometimes you just don't want to hear it. Sometimes you just want people to tell you, you're the mum, you're doing a great job, if this is what you want to do, and just support you. But yeah, no, that wasn't happening. But where's my husband? He was great. He was like, do what feels right for you. And I think he only must have stepped up and said something when I was on very strong painkillers at the beginning, and I didn't want to take them anymore because I was afraid they were going to flow down into the baby through my breasts. And I just wasn't taking them, and I suffer from migraines, and I stopped taking my migraine tablets. And he just was like, this isn't working because you're not yourself, you're not 100% yourself, and you've got all these hormones that you just overwhelming hormones, and you're trying your best to do something that you've never done before, and you're criticizing yourself, and it's making it harder. And he was like, I just don't feel like, you know, you let yourself down, you're fine. Like if she's not latching on and you want to give her formula, there's nothing wrong with it. And the fact that he even suggested formula, I wanted to rip his head off because I was like, you don't understand. And I felt so bad when I think back at it now, that he was just trying to help and I was trying to rip his head off, because I couldn't believe that he was, I think by him suggesting the formula, it made me feel like he was telling me I'm not good enough and that I should give up and that it wasn't working. And he was just kind of voicing all the insecurities I was having about the breastfeeding journey that I was going through. But I think the best thing for me was to go to formula, because she's amazing, she's healthy, she's happy, she's running around, she's an energetic little firecracker. She's my little 1-year-old. Yes, I have 2 under 2 because obviously I'm a mad woman. But yeah, no, this one wasn't planned, and alhamdulillah, she was a present from God, and Allah just, you know, graced us with this little gift here. And she's only 7 weeks old, so it's just, I'm happy with it. I wouldn't change a single thing. But I guess now I'm back at another breastfeeding journey, and this one, I think it's completely and utterly different from my first one. I think my first one, it was so new and I was so afraid and I didn't understand. But that doesn't mean that it's any easier, because 2 children are never the same. 2 experiences are never the same, and 2 journeys will never be the same. But I feel like you're just a little bit more confident. I feel like you're a little bit more patient as well, because you're like, wait, let's try this, let's try that, let's try this. And you know what works and what doesn't work. And I just feel like there's a little bit more confidence, a little bit more experience gives you a little bit more confidence with yourself. But that doesn't mean that one child can latch on, another one can't. So I had the formula. I said I wasn't going to buy it, and at the beginning, because I was like, I'm not going to buy the formula. If I buy the formula, then I'm just going to go straight to the formula, because the formula is what I know. Because I didn't know what kind of delivery I'll have. I didn't know if it would be the same experience as the first one, and I will do a video about that. But I think my delivery had a big impact on my breastfeeding journey, and I will go on to explain in the next video. But I do believe, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. This is just my experience and how I felt that it really did impact my level of lactations, and also just level of stress in general, just affecting my journey as a whole. Whereas this one, I think it did the same. The hormones, whoa, the hormones after having a baby, I can't even explain to you what that's like. I feel like you just go from like being pregnant, and then you blink and then you have a child in your arms, and you're thinking, wow, like it just rushes you. I think it just knocks the wind out your chest. And if you don't have the right support, or you're not in the right mental state, it can definitely put you in a bad place. It's so important to seek help if these baby blues, as they call it, turn into depression. It's so important that, you know, you see the signs and the people around you, and you're even also able to vocalize it, you know, just to say there's nothing wrong with you saying that you're not coping. I feel like we put so much pressure on ourselves to be amazing mums and to be perfect at all angles, and breastfeeding will definitely challenge you. It will definitely be the moment that you will look at yourself and be like, oh, can't do this, why can't I do this, like what is wrong with me? Yeah, you've got that, you know, voices in your own head that it's difficult. But with this one, I did supplementing. At some point I did buy the formula. I just felt like it was so overwhelming with already having a 1-year-old and her wanting my attention all the time, which she has every right to. Because you've just come home with a newborn and she doesn't understand, even though we did everything we can to explain to her before she was born that Mummy's having another baby and she's your baby and you're having a sister and you're going to be a big sister. And she was excited, and she still is, but I think the level of, you know, jealousy that came along with it after as well was not easy to watch to some degree. some people will lie and say, no, they're perfect, and they don't. She does. They do. And you have to do everything you can and work extra hard to give her that time, you know. Give your child that time they need to just, you know, be there and play with them and whatever, just to show them how important they are and that they're not being replaced. So yeah, it did affect my level of confidence as well, and my energy, because I was exhausted. I was spread out really thin, I felt like sometimes. And thank God for my sisters and my mum and my family and my father-in-law and everyone that just supported me, that were there and that were like, you know, give me the baby and go have a rest and go eat something. And just, you know, even those little moments of making a cup of tea where you're standing there stirring a cup of tea, those as well gave me just a moment of clarity, a moment to myself, just reminded me I'm a human being, and that, you know, I'm not just the mum all the time, as much as I love that title. And, you know, thank God for, you know, blessing me to even become a mum. But yeah, the difficulties, I would say, with I'm going off, I'm just mumbling on sometimes, but with the breastfeeding journey, I would say, yeah, I bought the formula, and we did what was called like top up. So we would top her up like 60 ml here and there, and I felt like she needed it. She doesn't matter how much I pumped, even if I had like 100, 150, whatever, she always wanted more. So we've got a little greedy monster on our hands here, but yeah, no, she's lovely. And I had that with my first one as well. She never like conformed to the, you know, calculations for 4 months or 2 months or 3 months, what they would say on the formula packaging. But yeah, I would have had to give them a little bit extra. And them spitting up never helped as well. I just felt like sometimes they overate and then spit up, and then sometimes you'd give them the exact amount and they still spit up and they want to be topped up. So I think you just have to go along with your children's cues, and even those are difficult to understand, you know, if you don't know what you're looking for. You know, you're on a journey together with those cues. Sorry, here, madam here is just sleeping. Perks of recording with a baby, but yeah, I don't want to miss those moments, so sorry about that. But yeah, you kind of just have to go off their cues. Some kids want more, some kids, you know, are perfect on the money, so if they need 120, they'll have 120 ml. Some of them want a little bit more, and that's perfectly fine. So what I usually just do is I breastfeed, and then if they need more, I give her formula, and then it's so that I can get some rest as well. We do supplement with the formula because you're recovering, you know. Even 7 weeks in, you're still recovering. With my first one, 6 months in, I was still recovering. And I was during the recovery is when I found out I was pregnant. And I was like, wow. Like, I don't know why, but yeah, I was just like, am I ready for another baby? So yeah, during the journey, it just doesn't end, you know, it just doesn't end. And it's just, my advice would be, just don't give up. If you want to breastfeed, don't give up. You know, if you truly believe that you can do this and you want to do this, and what you need to hear is someone telling you you're doing a great job, you're doing a great job. And sometimes you don't get that around you, and I'm just telling you, mums out there who are breastfeeding, who are getting up 3, 4, 5 times in the middle of the night because your baby might sleep mid-feed, and you have to let them sleep and get up and then wake them up again and feed them again, and you could be doing this from 2 a.m. all the way to 7 a.m, which I do, the newborn phase. You're doing a great job, okay? You're feeding your baby, you're doing what needs to be done, and you will reap the rewards of that when they turn around and say mama, and you know, the first time they crawl and the first time they smile at you, it's so worth it. So you're doing a great job. Don't feel overwhelmed and alone. You always have someone out here, and I just want to be that voice for them. It's something I wish I had to some degree, someone just telling me that, you know, I'm doing a great job. Even if I stop breastfeeding, I'm still doing a great job, and it's okay. If you want a formula feed and you want to do that, and you still have to get up and do feeds, it's not any less easier. You know, you still get up, you still do those early mornings to 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning. You're up because you're a superwoman and you're doing a great job. And yeah, be proud of yourself. Pat yourself on the shoulder, you know. Go out, get yourself a treat. If you're a coffee person and you want to go Starbucks, go Starbucks. If you want a donut, go get a Krispy Kreme. You know, if you like a slice of pizza, have a slice of pizza. If you're a chocolate person, have a Kit Kat. You know, just it's up to you. Whatever it is that does you fancy. You know, I tend to just go to the garden and sit there and, you know, have a moment to myself and listen to the birds chirping away and the wind in the trees. I'm just that kind of person. Sometimes that's how I take my break. I'm not really a phone person. I'm more of just outdoory, just sit in the garden, sit on a swing, just chill. So yeah, it's important to remember to take care of yourself as well. Yes, mums out there, you guys are amazing. You have to remember to take out, especially the mums that are doing 2 under 2. I'm telling you, you're superheroes. All mums are superheroes, but that's a level of superhero that I never ever ever knew how difficult. I just thought to myself, like, oh, I've had a baby, I can do this again, perfect, like I can do this, I'm not scared. And you know, I came in with the right attitude, and then all of a sudden I was just like knocked off. I was like, what the hell did I think? Who do I think I am? I'm not Wonder Woman. I can't do this. What superhero did I think I was? But my husband encouraged me, my family encouraged me, and it was so lovely to just people telling me, like, you know, you're doing a great job. It's amazing. You're amazing. You're doing it. You know, so yeah, my advice to you guys is enjoy every moment. Do not stress about the nitty gritty. Just the little things. Don't overlook anything, but at the same time, don't analyze and pick at anything. Just know that you're not alone. You're doing a great job, and thank you for watching. And I hope that, you know, you guys can give me a like and subscribe and comment underneath if there's anything you guys would like for me to elaborate on, or what videos you guys would like to see. Whether you guys want to hear about the difference between my 2 deliveries, and what condition I was dealing with my first pregnancy. I'm pretty sure it's something that other people have dealt with. But yeah, I'd love for you guys to comment underneath and do a like and subscribe. And bye guys, see you soon.